our Sunday lesson, The Powers Within Us. Reverend Suzanne, The Powers Within Us.
Thank you. Nice job.
Perfect. Isn't she wonderful? First time? Yes. Give her another round of applause. And she's just so pretty to look at. It's lovely. You're so welcome. All right, let's just take a moment. Wendy, if you'd be kind enough to just dim the light for a moment as we lead into this time, this place, this life. Breathing in and breathing out that breath of God. Breathing in, breathing out the wholeness that we are. I am the heart, you are the heart, we are the heart of spirit on earth. And who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world. So as you breathe in and out in this moment of meditation, know that your wholeness, your life, your gifts make a difference. You are a blessing to the world. So in that peace and in quiet, take a moment to remember the blessing that you are right here, right now, today, in this moment.
So I invite you back now to this time of place, breathing in and breathing out that breath of God. Knowing full well that you are here for a divine purpose, a divine reason, and you're in the perfect place at the right time for your life to continue to unfold and for you to continue to be the gift that you came to be. So developing our 12 powers. Why is this important? Well, because the 12 powers give us a design for living, a way to take each one of these powers and employ them in our lives, in our days, just to keep getting better and better and better. You're pretty good right now. I know most of you, and most of you are pretty good right now. Yeah. But you don't want to live a B+ life. You came here to express that spark of divinity that grows in you every day, every moment. And so life is always calling you up higher. And as we employ the 12 powers to help us do that, we have more order in our life. We have more zeal. We have more enthusiasm. You'll be hearing more about that later. But to help introduce the 12 powers idea today, we have our youth who have been studying the 12 powers. They've had books that they've been reading, some wonderful award-winning books, and as they read these stories, they've been seeing where the 12 powers apply. Which one of the characters may be the zealous one? Which one is always wanting things to be right? You know the ones I mean. So I'm going to call them forward now, and they are going to, give them the microphone, they are going to say a little riddle that they have learned as they express to us their idea of the 12 power. So, can I invite our youth forward, Wendy and Caitlin, everybody, come on up. Give them a welcome. Thank you very much. This is your youth program. And they have been studying the 12 powers, and they may have brought an accompanying prop with them that helps remind them of that 12th power. And here comes Caitlin and Wendy, who are in charge of the sweet ones. So Wendy, I'm going to give you this, and I'm going to let you introduce everyone, and they can tell what power they have. They have a little script. So there you are.
All right. This is Scarlett. Scarlett, which one did you choose?
It gives wisdom and imagination.
Okay. And what does your flamingo represent for that wisdom and imagination?
Other animals give power to me, and I give power to them.
Very good.
Yay!
Faith and strength.
Faith and strength. David, and what does your unicorn represent?
Lots of power.
Unicorns have lots and lots of power. Give her faith and strength. Okay, this is our other Olivia.
Big one. I chose the same one Scarlett did, wisdom and imagination. And just have a picture. It represents, I'm strong, I'm true, and I stand with God in all I do. I am wisdom, I imagine what I can be. With God I am free to see. I am wisdom and imagination.
Yay! What did you choose?
Love and power.
Yes. What does that represent?
My monkey represents love because I love him.
Okay, great. And what does it say?
I'm the heart, the center of love. My words are kind. I am gentle as a dove. I am strong. My voice makes me free. I speak up for you and me.
Choose? Oh wait, this is Sophia. Sorry, Sophia.
I chose will and good judgment, and I brought this little picture, and it says, I make good choices, large and small. I do it for the good of all. I am will and good judgment.
Very good. This is great.
Okay, I picked order and zeal, and this is my folder here. In order. And it said, I can do things quick and fast. With divine order, my zeal can last. I am order and zeal.
Yay.
We have everybody?
Those were the children who wish to participate.
Okay, let's give them all a round of applause. Okay, really good. Now you're invited to stay, so find a couple of seats right here. You can stay and listen. Congratulations, Wendy. Wonderful. So we planted the 12 Powers seed right here. And what we love to do as a congregation is to watch how this seed takes root and how it grows. So thank you very much, youth ministry. Wow. I love the order. I love the notebook. And the 12 Powers actually existed before Charles Fillmore came onto them and sort of tweaked them and Christianized them a little bit and set areas in the body and colors and equated them with the 12 disciples that Jesus called to help him more express the Christ consciousness. And so the 12 powers are encouraged to be used in pairs, like we heard about love and power, knowing the power of love. And for me in my life, you may not need them in this order, and they can be combined in any order, but I have to take wisdom with my zeal. Like when I go shopping, because they don't shop online. You know, my zeal, I go into a store and I'm just all over it. It's like Christmas. It's like, so the, you know, the wisdom says, calm down, Suze. Don't worry, it's all taken, you know, just go one aisle at a time, divine order, it'll all be there. So the idea is to use them and utilize them now. As I'm speaking to you today, you don't have to write that down, because the students are going to pass out a blue sheet. Yes, Mom has them in the background. They're going to pass those out. When we take our offering, we're going to offer them to you, so you can take them home and remember who they are and the power that they have in your life to do God's will. So Charles Fillmore introduced them, connected them, and they're really a system of recall. They're a system of reminding ourselves, oh, am I being faithful today? Am I being wise? Do I have order? Are things out of order? Because we know that leads to harmony, and we feel whole and good when our life is in some kind of divine order. So that's the reason for them. Myrtle and Charles began a healing movement that is over 100 years old. And it began, of course, with Myrtle Fillmore's healing. She happened to go to a lecture given by a man named E.B. Weeks. And he said this. He said to her, now she'd been suffering from TB all of her life. He said to her, and of course everyone else gathered there, but she was sure that he was talking right to her. You are a child of God, and therefore you do not inherit any sickness. Wow. Charles Fillmore went home after that memorable lecture, much unchanged, but not Myrtle. Not Myrtle. She took that seed idea and began to employ it in her life and was healed. I want to read to you from the story of Unity, how that took place, and what she says about the powers of life and the powers of love. She calls it her discovery, and she says this: I have made a discovery. I was fearfully sick. I had all the ills of mind and body that I could bear. Ever had all the ills of mind and body that you could bear? Well, here's the prescription that Myrtle followed. Medicine and doctors ceased to give me relief until I picked up practical Christianity. I took it up and I was healed. I did most of the healing by myself. I decided to guide the powers of life and love in my body, and I spoke to each one. Now, this healing took place for Myrtle over a series of years, but every day she would affirm the wholeness, the healing in her body, in every organ, in every muscle, and every tissue. Now, we affirm things in our body as well, but I want us to really employ the tools that Myrtle used. Because how often do we say, well, my bad leg is hurting today. Or, gee, you know, I can't see, this is my bad eye. Or my ear that doesn't hear. From your lips to your body's manifestation. So if we're going to talk it all to our body, let's couch it in that positive, practical, progressive Christianity that we believe in, and make sure that instead of just talking, that we're giving it a blessing every day. You'll see evidence of it in your life. Charles Fillmore, as he watched Myrtle heal, Charles Fillmore came upon his own healing. At the age of 10, he was in a skating accident and had a displaced hip. So much so that he wore a lift in his shoe of about 3 inches and walked like this until he watched Myrtle and he heard her affirmatively talk to her body. And he decided, using wisdom and power, these two powers, that he would go to headquarters. That's what he called heaven and his God connection. He would just go to headquarters and find out if this worked for everybody. And so he did. And he came up with something he calls a sure remedy. And he writes about his experience in the story of Unity as well. Are you ready to hear it? Are you ready to hear a sure remedy? Are you ready? Yes. Thank you so much. I needed an amen there. All right. Amen. So, thank you. So he says this, here is a mental treatment that is guaranteed, and we've heard that word a lot, but guaranteed to cure every ill that flesh is heir to. Are you ready to have every ill that flesh is heir to? Okay. Now this is spiritual homework, but if you choose to apply it to your life, amazing things are in store for you. Here it is. Sit for 1/2 hour every night. 1/2 hour every night. You have it. Now you may choose to sit with Charles and do these, or you may choose to stay on the internet or watch your TV. You see, friends, you always have a choice. But if you choose this, here's what can happen. And forgive everyone that you may have something against. Take a breath. It won't kill you. It's really important. We use forgiveness a lot because forgiveness allows us to move on in our life, allows the light to continue to shine, and leaves everyone else, everything else, alone. God's in charge and will take care of it. So we're responsible for our life and our healing. He says, if you fear or are prejudiced even against an animal, that little bee that stung you, it didn't mean it. It was the crush of your heavy foot that hurt its feelings. Yeah, it didn't mean it. Or if you're engaged in law or contention, or if you criticize or gossip. Now you have to be faithful to that 1/2 hour for this application to work. The increase of movement in our life. You see, the current answer for you and anything that you're needing to address is right inside you already. It's right there. Every answer you need, every prescription you need, every possible thing that you might want to latch onto is already present. It's like Columbus and some of those explorers think that they discovered America. Did they discover? No, America was here all the time. They just bumped into it. Electricity was here all the time, but Edison channeled the idea. Everything you need is here all the time, but you have to invite it in, just like your good health. It knocks on the door. Hello, I'm good health. Come on in. Sit down. Can I get you a cup of tea? Let's have a conversation. I seem to be having this little skirmish with my body. And good health says, all right, let's pray about that. And the prayer is wholeness. You're a child of God. You didn't hear this. I don't know where it came from. Maybe it jumped over the fence. Maybe your neighbor brought it in. Maybe you picked it up at the market. But your truth is wholeness. So let's believe it. You say, thank you for sharing. Wholeness and good health leaves. And there you are. Pure, happy, healthy, free. The next time you have a little skirmish with your body or maybe your checkbook, you invite wholeness in. And the whole scenario repeats. Is this making sense to you? Yeah. It's so simple, but it's not easy. You have to forgive the bee. And you have to forgive them. And that company, and those people, and that neighbor 40 years ago. Stop. You have 12 powers to activate in your life and in your body that will take you anywhere you want to go. It's a gift. It's a gift. But you have to decide to do it. 60 pounds ago and many years ago when I was lecturing for Weight Watchers after having been an example, we had, as a lecturer, we had a little paper that we would give everybody every week called the Daily Diary. And you were just to record everything you ate. Because then, now we have points and things, and Weight Watchers is quite wonderful, but then you had groups of food and certain things you had to eat. Liver was on there. Yeah, okay. So, but anyway, this man had lost about 80 pounds. 80 pounds. It's about this. He brought in a portion of his belt, and it was about this much, and gave it to me at the 80 pounds and said, well, I want to thank you for this, but I'm not done. My goal is 100. I said, okay, let's make that happen. So we're real careful and diligent. Nothing. Couple of months. Nothing. So I said, Ron, his name was Ron, president of the company, loved and accepted, but I said, Ron, bring in your daily diary. Let me see what you're doing. And so he brought it in, and I'm reading, and at the very bottom after dinner it says, 2 cours. 2 cours. Like in beer. And he said, Ron, show me on program where there are 2 cours. I said, you'll eventually get it back as part of your maintenance, but not now. Do you want to get to that 100 goal or not? Yes, I do. Then quit messing with the program. Stop it. And he did. And he did. The 12 powers are like that kind of spiritual recipe. And you have 12 of them that you can mix and match around. Yeah, if you really want to go forward in your life, then you need faith and zeal. You need faith that you can, and you need zeal to be your cheerleader. I think you can. I think you can. No, you don't think you can. You are. When I was growing up in Unity in Sacramento, and I'm praying for my friends in Northern California, this was our singing Bible. Thank goodness we have innovative music directors like Woody, who we sing some from the Wings of Song, but we have wonderful songs like what we sang this morning. And we would sing on page 183, one of my favorite joy songs. And it's written by Georgiana Tree West, and it's called I Am the Radiant Life of God. And so we would sing that. And you can't sing this song without feeling that energy. And it's an affirmation. I am the radiant life of God. I am, I am, I am. And then it goes on that you're the energy of God, the wisdom of God, the wonder of God, the peace of God, the health of God. All this is going on. And you go, oh, wow, I'm into this. I am the radiant life of God. Yeah, you are the radiant life of God, except for that bad foot. No. You are the radiant life of God always. You are the zeal of God, the faith of God, the health of God, the order of God, the life of God, the imagination of God. All those things are resident in you. Did you know it? Maybe you've only lived with just a couple. Faith. Yeah, but faith sometimes needs encouragement. Faith needs order. Faith needs the devotion of your life to be who you came to be. I am the radiant life of God. I am, you are, we are the radiant life of God, that power of the spoken word. See, you're going to speak into manifestation something. We do it every day. I am the radiant life of God. After you sing that song, pick up the phone, you get into a conversation. That's right, we don't pick up phones like this anymore. We pick up phones like this now, yeah. Pardon my visioning back in time. Okay, so you pick up the phone just after you've been the radiant life of God, you've said your meditations and written in your journal, and you get into the conversation. Beep, 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 beep. And whatever you say, pretty soon you're no longer the radiant life of God anymore. Ever been on a conversation where you pick up the phone, you're cheery, they're cheery, and then it goes downhill from there? Well, you can't sing I am the radiant life of God from this posture. No. It's like Anthony Robin teaches us. When you do affirmations, you throw your shoulders back and you are the radiant life of God. Hello? And everything inside you gets excited. Zeal especially goes, yay, they're playing my tune. Order says, now, be careful. Don't get too much out of, faith says, you go, girl. Yeah. Life says, oh, I love it. Everything in your body goes, yeah. Yeah, that's what I came to do. That's how I came to be. That's what I want. A life that makes me want to get up in the morning. Our friend Mary Mannon Morrissey, who teaches our Prosperity Plus class that I'm hoping that most of you will get enrolled in when we bring it around in September, says you are here to live a life you love living. How many of you right now love the life you're living? Wake up every morning saying, love this life? Good. Good. How many would you like to live more of that radiant life? Yeah, more is it. Good. Good. And that blue piece of paper that we're going to pass out to you in a little while when we do our offering, take a look at those powers. You want to employ them. They're gifts to you. Every single one. Send them out in pairs. Yeah. Send them out in pairs to do work for you. To bring you into that Christ consciousness. to explode your life, because an exploded life of yours moves into your loved ones and your neighbors, and your exploded radiant life becomes infectious in a good way. Yeah, contagious in a good way. And people will say, I want to be around Annie and Andrea and Carlos and Judy because they're infectious in a good way. Yeah, I come away from being with them and I feel great. And friends, those people that you don't feel great with, leave them alone. They're choosing not to. You can't drag them along. You could be an example of what's possible. And pretty soon they'll drag themselves to your side and ask just exactly what is going on with you. I mean, I live the same life you do. I mean, I see that you're living in an apartment and driving a mediocre car, but something's going on with you. And you're going to say, what? I go to Unity of Yucaipa. I learn about 12 powers. They have great guest speakers. There's Woody who lets us know about the principles, and there's Carlos that lets us know about reaping and sowing. And I can't imagine my life without Unity of Yucaipa on Sunday. And they'll go, all right. That's how I was when I came into Unity on Father's Day in 1982. I had a roommate who would go to Unity in Sacramento, and she would come home and just explode. I mean, she was pixelated. And she invited me. Now, I was a renegade, former Catholic, Jewish, Baptist girl. And I wondered if she wasn't making a stop after church somewhere. So I'd get real close to her before we had lunch, and I'd smell her breath. Clean. You know, I'd check in the garage and everything for bottles, you know. Sniff around, see if there's any dust on any of my coffee tables. No, clean as a bell. Week after week, she'd come home that way. And I did what I hope you do. I said, okay, Elaine, what's going on? She says, well, you know, I go to Unity and blah, blah, blah. I said, I know you say that. Are you making a stop on the way home? Now, shoot me straight. I mean, you know, we can renegotiate your, you know, your roommate-ship here. I'm not going to bust you, but what are you doing? She said, oh, no, we just pray, and we just sing, and we just eat cookies, and we just have the best time. And I said, okay, if you'll quit inviting me, I'll go one time, and then I'm done. Well, the rest is history. Obviously, I didn't go just one time. She was on to something. You're on to something. You're here because you want more of you. And you want to learn how to do that, right? Exactly. Well, friend, whoever's sitting in front of you, beside you, next to you, wants that too. And the good news is, in the world, as we get richer in spirit, we get richer in the material life that we live as humans, we all congratulate each other and go up together. And I don't mean up like to heaven, we'll go in that dimension, but we go up in spirit. We go up in spirit and we encourage each other and we love each other's success. And we're able to say, yay, you won the contest. Yay, you got a new car. Yay, you got a new house. That's our expression in unity. Instead of, do you hear about Sally? She got a new house. She got an inheritance. Yeah, somebody in her family won the lottery. She doesn't deserve it, you know. She's mean to her kids, cheating on her husband. We say, yay, you go, Sally. You go, girl. Don't we? And it feels good. We say it to each other. Bonnie says it all the time. She's one of our best emissaries, and so do many of you who I know are out in the community. Judy and those of you who take classes, Colleen and Ben, everyone say, yay, I like the way I think. I like the people. But mostly, I like the way I feel on Sunday. Because I'm renewed, refreshed, restored. I'm made in the image of God. Once again, I remember it. I have powers. I know that what I reap, I sow. I know that there are 5 basic principles that lead me in a life like this. And my very favorite is the action one. I know, I'm a woman who needs a governor on my life. I'll tell you that right now. But that's okay.